Greetings from the beautiful state of Utah. I will be home soon, but in the meantime, I'm going to record this video on Windows 11 and what you guys can expect when it drops onto your computer, which could happen at any time. So this is the Windows 11 desktop right here. And what you'll notice, the very first thing that you'll notice is the icons at the bottom are now in the middle. So the start button and Microsoft Edge and all your icons that you had pinned to the bottom are now in the center when everything used to be over here on the left. No big deal. You can actually have the option of putting that all back to the left if you want. It makes for sort of a nice clean interface. And then over here on the right, you'll notice that they've grouped together some of these icons in the lower right hand corner of the screen. So when you click on the volume control, you won't just get the volume control, you'll get this new interface for volume, brightness. You'll be able to turn Bluetooth on and off, and be careful of this one because this is for Wi-Fi, but this button here to the left will actually turn Wi-Fi on and off, while the safer option is the one to the right. When you tap it, it gives you a choice of turning Wi-Fi on or off, or also choosing a wireless network to connect to. So that can be a little dangerous. Watch out for that one. If I tap that right now, it'll turn Wi-Fi on and then off. And then, when I turn it on, I then have to go to this arrow to choose if there's any available networks. So obviously you can shut yourself off the internet by tapping that, and all of a sudden you have no internet. So just remember to go back and turn it back on. Also down here, is the new notification center. There are no notifications at the moment, but when you click the date and time, the notification center comes up. There's a handy little calendar here on the bottom with the ability to focus, meaning stop the notifications for a set amount of time if you choose. And then you can snooze notifications by tapping this button. You can turn the new do not disturb feature on and off, where you won't be bothered at all by the notifications for a set amount of time. So that's the manual way to turn it on and off, and this right here is a way to turn it on and off for 30 minutes at a time, or however much time you want. So when I tap off of that, that goes away. You'll notice it's a much cleaner interface, and there's smooth animations and that kind of thing. That's it. That right there is not so scary, really. The new search is not this big long bar that used to be at the bottom. Now you just have a little magnifying glass. And when you click the search box, it's pretty handy. Depending on what you use it for, you can type something into the box and choose to search your apps. Most people would be searching documents, web, that kind of thing. And obviously, if you just start typing, Windows 11, for example, it actually searches your computer first. And when it searches the web, this is kind of a neat way to search the internet without opening up a web browser and taking over your whole screen. You can do a quick search and then go to these little arrows here to just have these little previews of web pages, so you can kind of keep your place on your computer and browse search results real quick without having to open up a whole window in order to do that. I actually really like that. So the other thing you'll really notice is the Windows button here. When we tap the new Windows button, this is a big difference. They took away all those big square tiles that we used to call live tiles. And they made it look more like a smartphone screen, which I think is the right way to go, honestly. And they have this recommended section down here that you can turn off. That can get a little annoying, but they've also added some icons here that weren't there before, and you don't want stuff there if you don't want it there. So this here, just like your phone, you want to put apps here that you use and take away the ones that you don't use, okay? And the rest of your apps are neatly tucked away here under the All Apps button. And here is your A to Z list of all the applications on your computer. If you want to take one of these and put them down here on the taskbar, for example, if I wanted to put Firefox down there, I could just, can I drag and drop that? No. Yes, I can. I can drag and drop it to the taskbar down below. I can also drag and drop it to the desktop. You will notice, however, that you cannot drag and drop stuff from this start menu here. You have to go. For example, if I tried to drag and drop the Microsoft Store and I tried to drop it on the desktop, you'll notice it doesn't go. So I think this is their way of sort of keeping the start menu the way you left it. I don't know what their thinking is here, honestly. But I don't want the Disney Channel. I don't want Clipchamp. So how do I get rid of those? That's just a right click with the right mouse button and you unpin it and that's it. It goes away. Same with right click on Clipchamp, unpin it from the start menu. And what if I want to put something here from my all apps, like the calculator? Of course, I'd want that around. Maybe I would come here to the calculator and right click with the right mouse button. And I can, looks like it's already there. I can take something like the clock or the camera. Let's say right click on the camera and pin to start. There's also an option under the more option to pin it to the taskbar and a few other things. So I'll pin it to the start. And then when I go back here, you'll notice now I have access to the camera. If I want to remove it, I just right click again and unpin. So pretty simple. And now that I have Firefox here on the desktop, well, I'm just going to take that shortcut and delete it because I don't want it there. And I don't really want Firefox down here on the taskbar either. So I'm going to right click on that and launch it by accident. And then I'm going to right click on that and then I'm going to unpin it from the taskbar. I launched it by accident. Hold on. So that's it for the most part. Windows 11 is not very scary. There are a lot of updates coming to the apps to make them look a little more rounded, a little more beautified. The icons are definitely have an upgrade. They look a little bit different than Windows 10. And honestly, I think it's just easier to use all around once you get used to it. The file manager at the bottom, File Explorer, whatever you want to call it. This is how you get to your files. And this has a new look. As you can see, I'm in a new dark mode. I can make that a lighter mode if I wanted to. But you can see that the buttons at the top of the screen, there's a lot less of them. And so that can make things easier to use. It kind of ticks me off because I want a word next to my button, just like they have at View here, right? And, you know, a lot of people just don't understand what some of these other buttons do here. And you'll notice if I hover over them, you know, there's no tooltip to show me what they do. I mean, I know that that's copy right here. I know that that's cut. Some people wouldn't know that this is to rename a file or this is the delete button, the little garbage can. I think Microsoft could do us all a favor by giving us all the option of having text next to the buttons. I don't understand their thinking at all sometimes, and that one pisses me off. Just like 20 years ago when they decided to take the word start away from the start button down here, all of a sudden the majority of my customers didn't know what I was talking about when I told them to click the start button, which is this right here. Okay, don't forget at the bottom here, there's going to be some new icons. I don't have them displaying at the moment, but you'll notice about 3 new icons to the right of the search, button. And if you want to get rid of those, and also you have the option of moving all these icons back to the left side of the screen like they were in Windows 10. Well, to accomplish either one of those tasks, you're going to find an empty space on the taskbar and click with the right mouse button. And that will bring up taskbar settings, the new taskbar settings. And in here, you can choose which icons show up at the bottom. There are these new, task view widgets and chat. I have them all turned off, but look what happens when I turn them on. They appear down at the bottom of your screen here. I just find this new widgets to be completely annoying, and I don't get their thinking with that one. It's just annoying. So this new widgets on the left will have like stock quotes and weather and that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't use it. I don't want it there. So anyway, to remove these icons, you right click on the taskbar, you come into settings, and right here, taskbar items, I'm going to leave the search, and you should. We're going to remove task view, widgets, and chat. Although you might like the task view. What that does here is when you tap it, it's just like on your phone where you have little miniatures of all your applications running. Anyway, I'll turn that one off. And then if you scroll down just a little bit where it says taskbar behaviors right here, this is your ability to put the taskbar alignment back from center over to the left side of the screen. And that, makes it look more like Windows 10. I'm starting to get used to the center, so I'm going to put it back, and that's that. So I'm going to close this window now, and you'll notice when there's a program running, you'll see the little dot underneath the icons there. Some people might liken this to the Macintosh or Apple's desktop operating system. I'm all for uniformity with all this computer stuff so that everybody can pick up any computer and just get to work without things being too different. Anyway, that's it for that. Make sure if you have any questions, you just comment on the blog post, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.